Hello. There is a phenomenon that I don't think is necessarily new, but it's new to me. I just discovered it. I just kind of realized it. There, not so long ago, was a time where if you were, say, a person in the public eye, an influencer, musician, celebrity of any type, and you had an outburst, an episode, you basically kind of dug your own grave, hopped in, sealed the thing up, had a funeral for yourself, catered it with like Chick-fil-A, the whole 9 yards. Like, it was such a sure thing that if you were to pull, say, a Gabby Hanna or a Trisha Paytas on the Frenemies podcast, that was it for you. And I'm starting to realize that that is just not a reality anymore. I'm not the most well-versed in talking about mental health issues, especially like complex, actual kind of disorders and conditions. I don't even know if that's the correct words to describe them. So we're not going to get too nitty-gritty into like what causes certain people to act a certain way. All I'm going to kind of discuss is how it is like surface level. We can surface level say that when Trisha Paytas stormed off of the Frenemies podcast set on the last episode, that was, I don't know what to call it, let's say an episode, when Gabby Hanna in January like posted like 200 TikToks in a day. That was something. Something was going on. When Kanye West woke up one morning and just said, "I'm going DEFCON 5 on all Jews." That's not sane behavior. Can we leave it? Can we say that? Can we say that's not exactly they were not in their right mind doing that? Let's leave it at that. And as I said, it used to be kind of like you were literally shooting yourself in the foot, in the butt, giving yourself a new butthole with your new gunshot wound. Like, it was over. It was like so over. When Trisha Paytas left the Frenemies podcast, which to like give some context on that, her and Ethan Klein, who was the other host of the Frenemies podcast, like the best podcast to ever exist. Nothing has ever come close. Like every other podcast I watch now, even when I watch this back, not saying that this is better than any other podcast, but like it's like nothing comes close. Like genuinely nothing. There's this hole, there's this void that's just been left empty and it'll never come back. So they were on this podcast together. Essentially, they would kind of bicker, and they just got into a spat. Trisha Paytas kind of blew up on Ethan. Mind you, he was kind of like egging her on, knowing that was like a possibility. So like, I don't, there's no like placing blame or anything. I think it just kind of happened, blah, blah, blah. But I was so sure, just like by how I felt and how all the comments were, how everyone kind of took it. It felt like that was it for Trisha Paytas. Like, end of it. Like, you would go to her YouTube videos after the fact and every single thing would be like 90% dislikes. I feel like she was like one of the most hated people on the internet at the time. And now fast forward, I have never seen a human make more progress on themselves in the entirety of history. It is incredible, okay? This was someone who would post videos like sitting on their kitchen floor, crying, eating like $200 of DoorDash, to now having 1.5 kids, 0.5 because she's pregnant again, which I predicted. Prediction video coming soon, 2024, or for 2024 coming soon. She has a husband. She has this beautiful life. She has her shit together. She has her own podcast where it's just herself. It's doing amazing. She has done a complete 180. And it is celebrated, and it should be absolutely celebrated. It is beautiful to see a human turn themselves around. And at the same time, it kind of stands in this weird paradox, because this is someone who, you know, has done questionable things in the background, racist things, the whole 9 yards. And, you know, probably no one but herself can chalk each and individual thing up to, like, if she was having an episode, not, who knows? No one knows. Literally just her, she knows that. But nevertheless, there's records and there's like solid evidence in the past of her doing things that would get most people canceled. But, and you know, like there's obviously like not saying that it's only mentally ill people who are like, you know, like tweeting the N-word or like rapping along to it and then like getting canceled or something. Like that happens to a lot of people. But when they apologize, sometimes it feels very, honestly, when anyone apologizes, like after getting quote unquote canceled online, it can feel very hollow and empty, especially if it's like right after the fact. But I think when people truly start to forgive someone is when they see like actual progress. When you see like Trisha Paytas, like, you know, cleaning her act up, being just like a very kind person. Like, I mean, obviously I don't know her. Like, I think this is so seductive the way I'm like showing my socks right now. Don't look. Obviously I don't know her in person. No one knows her. We all have parasocial relationships with everyone on the internet, like blah, blah, blah. But just based off of what she puts out, it's a lot more positive. It's a lot more kind than what you used to see on her channel. Like, I remember just like, it was like kind of my guilty pleasure watching her YouTube videos, and she'd like buy like $20,000 of like Louis Vuitton stuff and just like sit in this like empty mansion and like unbox it, and it was so miserable. But now she's like making videos with like friends, and just overall, like, even when, you know, the whole Colleen Bollinger drama stuff went down, capitalize a little bit off of it. But like, obviously, if you're in that position, like, you're probably going to do that a little bit. But kind of came at it from like a place of passion. I don't know. There's this general feeling. There's this like kind of warm feeling that I feel that she's gotten better, that she got her act together. And I think it feels funny, like, making this episode based off of just that one example. And I'm sure there will be and are other examples of people who had outbursts online and then, like, you know, turn it around. But I'd like to, like, I wrote down a list of, like, people who had similar outbursts and did not come around. Well, some did. Okay, let me just go through it. Gabby Hanna. Maybe we don't all remember, but like, holy moly, if you were there on that fateful day in January, I think it was that day where she literally just manically posted like 100 TikToks. Someone broke into her house during the whole situation. She thought he was like a friend. He was like also making TikToks about her. The whole world had eyes on her. It was like the most insane dystopian thing I had ever seen before. And then she, as far as I know, just like pretty much fully quit. Like, I checked her TikTok, hasn't posted since January. Same with Instagram, I believe, hasn't posted since February. And who knows what's going on there? Who knows? Not me. Her therapist, maybe. I don't know. Does she have? I don't know. But, you know, maybe that's like paving the way for kind of having like a Trisha Paytas redemption arc. Now, moving on. Another kind of example in the influencer category is Emmylou. This one was so fucking crazy, actually. So Emmylou, if you don't remember, was a TikToker kind of like 2020, 2021, blew up. She was this girl who would just like, I don't know, she just like made funny videos. Like, I genuinely can't even remember that much about what she would talk about or make videos about, but I just remember like they would give me giggles. They would give me chuckles. And then one day a video comes out of her just actually like saying the N-word in one of the most horrific ways, like rolling down her window in a car and screaming the N-word with a hard R at people. Crazy. So just bonkers to do that. And boom, like that was it. Like, she posted like video after video of like apologies and stuff. And then disappeared for a while. But then, for just a short window, and I didn't think it was going to be this short. I really thought she would be back, but came back for, God, I think it was like literally 2 weeks, and was posting TikToks again. And obviously there were still people who were very upset to like what she did. Like, it was like the craziest fucking video that got leaked of her just like screaming those things. But there was people who were just like welcoming her presence back, being like, oh my gosh, queen, so glad you're back. You know, that like the whole 9 yards. Ew, I've said fucking the whole 9 yards like 3 times in this podcast. I'm like developing the vocabulary of a 70-year-old man that like goes golfing 4 times a week. I don't know what the fuck is going on with me. And then out of the fucking blue, she said something. Once again, me not doing my research. She got in beef with Cardi B. I believe she either tried to say like Nicki Minaj is better or something, or just like she threw a shot at Cardi B. And for some reason, Cardi B saw it. I think it trended on Twitter first, and then Cardi B saw it, and she put out like a tweet and absolutely fucking shut down this Emmylou girl. I think like even referenced the original video of her saying the N-word, and it was over. Like, it was fucking over. Even the people that were like welcoming her back was like, pack it up, girl. Like, that's really fucking it. Like, y'all really done did it this time. And she has disappeared off the face of social media since. So that's what I got on the social media side. Now, times we've kind of seen like outbursts of anger. Who knows? Once again, we don't know what place it came from. Could be a mental illness or just something. But Azealia Banks is like an extremely talented singer, but unfortunately is essentially only known for the most part for the spats that she gets in with celebrities. There once was a time where you could go on her Wikipedia page and it would have a list of all the people she got into controversies with, and it was literally 2 paragraphs long. It like ranged from Taylor Swift to Elon Musk to like entire countries and fucking nations. Insane. And she has had times where like she's came back. Now, to give some context on her, she, like, I think kind of her most acclaimed albums, the most popular albums came out like way, way, way longer. Like, I want to say like 2016, 2017, 2018. And she hasn't really done anything too big since. She's had like maybe one song that had like a moment on TikTok. But she still has this kind of beloved audience that like rides and dies for her because of this like original work that she put out. And it feels like when she keeps quiet for long enough, she gets almost close enough to like being able to start like rebuilding her career, and then boom, like says something, or stuff just kind of comes up in the past of horrible things she did, like being transphobic, all this stuff, the whole 9 yards. So like, and what's also crazy, what's like special about her is she's gotten in so much controversy that it's like there are some people that are probably fans of her just because of the controversies, because she has had some truly like funny moments. Like, I think it was Elon Musk or something. God, that like someone actually needs to write a book about her. But like, she just posted on her Instagram story one day, like, "Are you ready to die, Elon Musk?" or something. Maybe it wasn't Elon Musk, but it became like a meme format in itself. There was this time when like Grimes, the singer Grimes, my mutual on Instagram. Don't know how that happened. Y'all are mad. Y'all are so mad. But she claimed she was like locked in Elon Musk's house and like literally got in Twitter beef with Grimes and Elon Musk. Like, insane. But she has like never made a full recovery. Like, it's never like transferred into putting out good music again or anything. But the final example, this one is Kanye West. I think I made like an episode about my love-hate, which is now mostly hate, relationship with Kanye West. Kanye West is like an artist that all the people that I mentioned, like aside from Trisha Paytas, because I kind of fuck with her, but like I don't really care about, like, I'm just using them as examples. But Kanye West, I genuinely have, like, this one actually blew my fucking mind, because I didn't think I'd ever have like parasocial relationships with celebrities, or like even like care about them beyond their music. I always thought that was like crazy. Like, people who were like, you know, like waiting in line for 4 days before like a Taylor Swift concert, like, respect it, appreciate y'all, but I've just never been able to like see that for myself. But with Kanye West, like, I have listened to him since I like got a fucking iPod, like since I was like 9. Like, I'm talking like first songs that was like ever on my devices, on my iTunes. And even throughout the years, like, always like was my number one artist. And then he was always a little bit off the rails. Sorry if that's not like a mental health friendly way to say it, but fuck, like, he was off the rails. Come on now. But it wasn't until like 2018 when he like really started getting like we can't fuck with you anymore kind of thing. Like there was obviously the moment in like the VMAs 2010 or something when he stole Taylor Swift's moment and like went on stage and was like, Beyonce had the greatest music video of all time, and then like handed the mic back to her. He has had plenty of villainous moments. Plenty villain moments. But it wasn't until like, I want to say, yeah, like 2019, 2020 when he like really started just offending like entire races and groups of people. And it was like when this started where I was like, oh God, like I really would battle in my head. Like that shit would come on shuffle on Spotify and I'd like be like, separate the art from the artist. But Kanye West is like so far gone that like you really can't do it. Like I see his name and all I just think about is like all the insane shit that he's done. And like, mind you, I still bump a song here or there. Fuck, like lock me the fuck up. Sorry, I can separate art from the artist, and I'm not a sheep that just follows or just cancels people. No, I'm kidding. But around I want to say it was 2019. This was around when he dropped his Yay album. It was like a 7-song. It's the album with like the mountains and the green text that says, I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. Oh, which reminds me, I was trying to remember what he has been diagnosed with. Bipolar disorder. I love my brain. Around this time, he did like an interview. He did a bunch of like questionable interviews, mind you, while also running for president. This shit kind of started when he like put on like a Make America Great Again hat, and then went on, I believe it was TMZ. He did like a TMZ interview and said like slavery was a choice. So questionable, to say the least. But he released this album. The album was very much acclaimed. And he quieted down for a bit. Like, he was also posting like crazy on Twitter. Famously, he tweeted, I low-key don't fuck with that bitch Stormy, which is so fucking crazy because he was talking about like a 4-year-old child. What we also just need to do is we need to acknowledge the inherent humor that comes with a lot of these cancellations, these problematic people. Because if we just focus on how horrible it is to lose these people as musicians who are sometimes great and talented artists, the least we can do is fucking laugh at tweets like that. Like, being a grown-ass man and tweeting, I low-key don't fuck with that bitch Stormy. It's crazy. So there was that. There was that kind of like, I want to say it was like a few months of just outbursts. And it was so hard to keep up with like what he was saying next. Then he quit social media for a very long while. And then, what came after that? I think it was Donda right after that. Sorry, I'm not a discography freaking nerd like you. But anyways, around the Donda era, got into some way more. Oh, sorry, he did have a full album in between those. He released a gospel album, which everyone listened to once and completely forgot about. When he released his Donda album, he literally stepped it up a notch, which is so fucking crazy. He has his clothing brand, Yeezy, and made a shirt. I don't think it was ever for sale, but he like wore a shirt that said White Lives Matter. So like soon after, like, just the worst timing. What else did he do? He did the tweet about Jews. And it's like, there's fog in my brain because there's so much other stuff he did around that time. But it was like truly like stepped up a notch. And what I think was like kind of one of the final nails in the coffin was he was on this podcast and he was like, I can say whatever I want and Adidas won't drop me. Adidas being the ones that made his Yeezy shoe line. What the fuck did they do? They dropped his ass. So when I look at Kanye West, I try and think, is it even possible? Like, is it genuinely possible for him to have a Trisha Paytas redemption arc? do not think it is possible. I don't think it's possible. I think he would literally have to disappear for 20 years. Like, have entire decades of, like, have a whole generation pass before he could, like, come back to what he once was. Even after he released his Yay album, and said slavery was a choice, wore a Make America Great Again hat, met with Donald Trump, all that, it still took a hit to his whole Donda era. And mind you, Donda wasn't the best album, which was really crazy because he would release like 10 out of 10 albums, always like on like the Pitchfork, like best new music, and just in my heart, amazing albums beforehand. And Donda was the first album where he kind of fumbled. Now, it had a messy rollout. He would do these listening parties, show up like 3 hours late. The songs would be unfinished. When the album dropped, he claimed he didn't even authorize it. Oh! Fuck, why did I hit that? Ow, I thought that was soft. What the fuck? It was just pissing me off. I needed to hit it. So, you know, and there also was reviews for the Donda album that were critical of just like him as a character, obviously, but also some of the people that he had on the album. Like, he had DaBaby on, like, literally a month after DaBaby went on stage and was like, shout out to all the people without HIV/AIDS for no reason. Just said that. And Marilyn Manson, who is a horrific abuser. So, like, you know, I believe there's an interview, like a reviewer for The Guardian, I think, who just straight up gave the album 0 stars and said, like, if you incorporate these people, like, it's not even like these are like actual like criminals, like, it's like not even worth reviewing this. Like, this isn't even art at that point. So he was already taking a hit, but now he's like coming back, and I'm feeling a little bit of like some redemption. Obviously, he has his diehard stans, and maybe that's literally the only people who are riding for him right now. But he released a new song with T.Y. Dolla $ign, and some other people I can't fucking remember, and it's obviously not like doing amazing, but it's not flopping. And I see TikTok after TikTok, and maybe it's because my algorithm is like trying to Kanye pill me again, but it's being like, Kanye's back, and they're like posting the lyrics, like people are using the audio. Like, it's not like he was wiped off the face of the earth. Now, quick sidebar, DaBaby is someone who actually will probably never have a redemption arc, partly because of like the shit he's done. Also, he killed someone in Walmart, which is just so crazy that that's like not high up on the list of things he's canceled for. But anyways, but also his music is like just not that good, in my opinion. So, you know, those things go hand in hand. If you are genuinely talented, but you do something shady, I think you have a chance of coming back. But if you make shitty music and did something bad, you're not fucking coming back. If the Kid Laroi said the N-word, you would never see that man again. You would never see that man again. So, and, you know, not everyone that gets canceled is going to have, like, a redemption arc that's akin to Trisha Paytas, where she comes back almost stronger than she did before. And that, I think, is due in part to, you know, some of the shit that you've said. I think if you are upsetting entire races, you're not going to make a clean comeback. And especially if that's, like, gaining a lot of press and that's what people are going to know you for. I feel like a lot of people forget that, especially with musicians and actors, their fans might forgive them, but 90% of people who are conversing and talking about and keeping in conversation these celebrities operate or like interact with them on a very surface level. They don't care about their day-to-day stuff. They only hear like when they're being talked about in the news. So they're not like keeping up with every little good deed or like redemptive thing that they do to come back. They'll literally might just hear like Kanye West is anti-Semitic and then like that's it. And maybe rightfully so, because if you're fucking saying stuff like that, like you can't just say that and not like think it'll just like fade away with the sun. Like that shit will haunt you forever. Duh. And as it should. Like, but with Trisha Paytas, like, yeah, I really feel like she's like come back stronger. And I think there's like a new level of adoration that people have for Trisha Paytas because she was able to turn things around. And it's kind of refreshing. It's kind of refreshing to see someone who was once like most hated #1 on the internet and then is just like back. Like, it's kind of beautiful. But with that all being said, I'm curious, like, is there any like influencers or celebrities that I missed that you feel have had a return, a resurgence, despite it feeling like that was it? I know I kind of like briefly talked about this in a previous podcast episode when the Miranda Sings thing happened, and I was like, have we reached the end of apologies? And mind you, Miranda Sings also just released like a new apology video, and that's kind of being received a little bit warm. A little bit warm. There's some people that are like, you know what, it's good to have you back. And she made an apology for the apology video. She was like, I reacted in the moment out of anger, all this stuff. So I think the biggest X factor in all this is just time. Like, God forbid I ever have a goddamn controversy. I try so hard. But, you know, I'd probably just fucking disappear for a year if, like, something ever happened. I don't know. Or I'd be back the next day because I'm addicted to the internet. I'd be like, I'm sorry. But my brain is empty. Let's read your drama of the week. This week's drama comes from a new place. A new special place. The official Ben of the Week. Mama Discord. Mama's HQ, baby. You can go to discord.gg/Ben of the Week and join. I just set it up. This has been a very soft launch because I put it at the end of my YouTube video and it blew up so fast. So, you know, but it's calmed down and it's fun. And come join. But we have a channel on there where you can submit your own drama and I will read it. But as always, you can also submit your drama on the video version of this podcast. Just comment a sentence or two about something you need advice for. And we're keeping it kind of light today. This is from Jazzy Tazzy in the Discord. They said, my friend told me the cats are ugly after I told them they were my favorite. What should I do? You need to grab leather gloves or just any kind of gloves that are have like a lot of grip to them. Put your hands around their throat and wring that motherfucking spinal cord out like a towel. And then throw them down a flight of stairs. That is so rude. I mean, honestly, cats aside, it just sounds like they're a very combative and argumentative person. Just test that shit out. Be like, I like avocados. See if they say, actually, fuck avocados. I hate avocado toast. Guacamole tastes like dick. Like, test it out and see what they say. Because those people they're just not fun to be around. And I say that because I very much used to be like that, especially to my parents. I'd be so like argumentative for no reason. I would just like want to pick a fight. So call them out, be like, do you really not like cats? Or do you just want to like pick a little fight? We can go scrap. Like, what's up? Because what a fucking thing to say. Unless you're allergic, you have no excuse. Like, you actually have no excuse to not like cats. You're an idiot. You're a little Dumbo. But I wish you the best, and I hope you get a cat one day, and I hope you rub their fucking face in it, and I don't care if they're allergic. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry my brain was all over, as always. I'll be back in my regular place of home next week. But for now, we party in Miami with my mama. Family vacate, let's go. Okay, love y'all. Bye!